Hey Fit Fam, this is Tater Great from Fit Sanity. Today's show is sponsored by F&A Distribution, your local laser, steel, and cut crew. Need custom brackets, plates, or gym signage? They'll cut it, label it, and have it ready to bolt on. Just visit fnadistribution.com and tell them Fit Sanity sent you.
Yeah. Yeah, we back in the zone. Time to tighten the frame. Mind sharp, body strong. Yeah, we lifting the game. Fit Sanity, see the crew. We be breaking the limits. No excuses, no fear. We go hard every minute. Tater Great in the lab. Jordan holding it down. We talk health, real life, how to rise from the ground. If you ready for the change, take a breath, lock in. It's the podcast for the warriors. Let's begin. 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 Let's begin.
All right, what's good, Fit Fam? This is your host, Tater Great, and welcome back to another episode of Fit Sanity, the podcast where real fitness meets real discipline. And today we have a special episode for you. We're going to talk about consistency under pressure. I have one of my clients. We've been training together for about, almost 7 months. I'm going to let one of my clients introduce himself. Our client today, just to let you guys know, it's a Lion. Lion's lost a significant amount of weight. Lion kicks butt. He kicks ass and takes names when he's in the gym. I know I put a lot on you with the workouts, Lion. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
First and foremost, I appreciate you having me. I'm happy to be here. A little bit about myself. Outside of the gym, mostly a homebody.
Right.
You know, I spend a lot of my time on YouTube, Netflix. I do enjoy spending time with friends and family. That's something that's really important to me, especially as I've gotten older.
Right.
But on a professional level, I'm the associate director of bands at Duncanville High School.
Okay.
Yeah, that job is very time-consuming, is very demanding, and very competitive, but it pushes me to be the best at what I enjoy doing,
Right.
and so I love it.
So I feel like with that job, that it's crazy because that program actually wins a lot. So
Yeah,
you're
well, I
busy.
mean,
We know you're busy.
yeah, it is the city of champions after all. I can't say much about that. The reputation speaks for itself.
Right.
Realistically, though, we don't and can't win everything. That's just not how the process works. But our program has a long history of success.
Right.
And I'm lucky that I get to work with people and an amazing team that kind of share that same mindset. And so for us, you know, being consistently excellent is, you know, the baseline. It's the blueprint for us.
I was just actually thinking about that program. There's a couple of school programs, them and DeSoto. I feel like they definitely got a history of excellence because every year it's impressive. It's really impressive.
sure.
A lot of the athletes you can tell they're training young. So whatever the parents are doing on this side of town, it's working.
Right, that's for sure.
Definitely working. All right, so let's start about the starting point. Okay, at some point, let's talk about at some point you had to be fit, all right? You worked out, you fell off, and you're back. So let's talk about the starting point when you were like, okay, this is where I'm going to go with this. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to work hard. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So it was about 2 years ago. I was at the same time about 2 years into my therapy journey. And I was discovering that there was a lot of just like patterns in my behavior that were keeping me from being present in the world like I wanted to be.
Right.
And I was also at the heaviest weight I'd ever been too. So
What
it
was that
kind
weight? Do you mind sharing?
No, I don't mind sharing. 263.
Oh, wow. And what's your weight right now?
Currently 231.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a big gap right there.
Yeah, that's a big gap, especially for me. I've never lost weight on purpose before, so that was a big deal for me.
That's definitely a great gap. That's big.
But yeah, so like I was saying, I was also at the heaviest weight for me, and so I think I was starting to realize that some of the mental obstacles that I was going through
Right.
was kind of also tied to the fact that I just didn't like the way I felt in my body.
Right.
And so I knew that if I wanted something different, something needed to change. And so I decided to change something.
That is amazing. And then I feel like that was you just calling yourself out, like, hey, I need to do this. I'm going to do this. And
Absolutely.
I can't, even if you've had trainers, everything like that, nobody can do this work for you. Nobody can get up. Nobody can go to work for you. It's the everyday things that we have to do consistently that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You can only do it for yourself. You can have help, but you can only do it for yourself.
That's another thing. I don't think you can do anything without help. Like, you need some kind of help from someone at some point.
100%.
And even if you don't know you're being helped.
Especially when you don't know you're being helped is when you need it the most.
I agree. So you've worked with, like last year seems like to be, this past year of 2025 seemed to be where you put the pedal to the metal. You've kept trainers. You've worked with a couple of different trainers, right?
Yeah.
And I met you at some point.
Yeah.
How's that adjustment been where it's just like, okay, where you're getting used to one trainer, then you switch and then you go to a different one. And then maybe this trainer, I know Caleb left the gym. He was a great trainer too. He left for his own career and everything. So it's like, how's that adjustment been for you?
Up until this point, I've had 3 trainers.
Right.
And they are all phenomenal. You know, as a teacher,
right,
one of the big things that we talk about a lot in education is the idea of varied instruction.
Right.
You know, can you teach one concept several different ways at several different levels so that a student can understand?
Right.
And because I kind of operate out of that framework so often, it really wasn't a big deal for me to adjust and change from one trainer to the next. My first trainer was tough.
Yeah.
And he was tough because I'm very much an analytical person. I'm a thinker.
Right.
And he was just not that kind of way. He was a no-nonsense guy. He was very much so, you go to the gym, you do these exercises. When they get too easy, you add more weight or you do more reps.
Right.
And then when you're done, you go home. And so it was interesting to me because this was kind of the first time that I had been able to do something just without thinking, you know, just do it, get it done. And you still feel accomplished at the end.
Right.
And so I learned a lot from him. And even to this day, when I do my personal workouts, when it's just me by myself, I still retain a lot of the things that he taught me.
That's what's up.
Now, my next trainer, Caleb, that you mentioned earlier, was a complete 180 different. He was completely different from my first trainer. He was, at the time, in graduate school to be a physical therapist.
Yeah.
And so he was just doing personal training on the side, really.
Right.
And so I remember being in sessions with him and him just being so obsessed with form.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's just because he understood how form can impact the rest of your life, good or bad.
I agree.
There are lots of people out there, you know, they're cranking weight, but if the form's bad, they're only got maybe 10 years.
And you don't start feeling that pain, especially them shoulders and them knees.
Yeah.
Oh, shoulders, knees, and back.
Oh boy.
We all see.
Now you're talking. But yeah, and I remember, you know, there were times where I would be starting a rep and 2 sets in, or starting a set and 2 reps in, and he would stop me.
Right.
He'd be like, oh, can you turn your ankle this way, or can you rotate your wrist a little bit just this way? And I think he was really trying to tweak the workouts to my body, which was something that I really appreciated, because I didn't feel like I was just throwing weight around, I was saying. And so I'm so grateful to him because, you know, even though I didn't always leave our sessions feeling like I was about to die or feeling like I was completely shredded, I learned how to tailor things to my body.
Right.
You know, and I learned a lot about that awareness.
Yeah.
And then you came along.
Right.
And what I appreciate about you is just, like, what makes your style so unique is just how creative you are.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I feel like every time I come into a session, it's something different. It's almost like, lifting as an art form in a way. We have like one or two exercises that carry from workout to workout. But for the most part, when I show up, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to show you this new thing I discovered, or, stuff like that. And so for a lot of people, the thought of the gym can be so intimidating. And so I really appreciate how much you just like brought it down to earth and made me realize at least that it can be fun. It can be adaptive and flexible.
It can. And that's another reason why I do that. I'll keep our core. I try to keep core exercises, right? Because
absolutely,
these are primary movers. We're going to do these exercises. Right. There are certain things we're just going to do because I know it works. But then the other things, I do switch it up here and there. Same muscle groups. I'm just going to do different exercises.
Absolutely.
So if you got to think about it. I'm working with clients. Like I don't want you to get bored and become routine, right? Because eventually it's like, I know we're going to go do this. We're going to do that. You know what I mean? Same thing over and over and over. It's like, what I try to do is give you a lot for your tool bag.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Once you're done training and you're off on your own, then you got this big tool bag that you can just work with.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I remember how to do this. I can remember. And then if you're working out with somebody else, you can show off some fancy moves. Fancy workout moves.
You're speaking like a teacher right now. You're speaking like a teacher right now.
But you know how you said it, like, so you have to do, you have to adapt your teaching and you have to adapt your learning.
Yeah, and absolutely.
With training, it's so crazy because I could have 20 clients and not one of them likes everything the same. Like I have to talk to each client.
Understand?
Different. I communicate with everyone different. It's crazy how the conversations vary from session to session. And some people can't, like you. I could work you. Like I worked you hard, but you could handle it, and you were receptive to that. Everyone can't do that same thing. They might have a nick here, an injury there. So it's like I'm gonna work them hard, but just
accommodate it.
Yeah.
So, and I absolutely understand that, and I appreciate that. It's interesting that that's your perspective because for me, you seem so calm. You seem very down to earth. I still feel motivated. I still encouraged, but I don't feel like I'm like hurried or like I can't listen to my body or move at my own pace. And so I really appreciate that. To go back to the initial question though, asking about the way I adjust and the way I adapt, I think for me, just kind of I was talking about the varied instruction, I realized that these people, they're all just teaching me how to work out. They're teaching me different ways to work out.
Right.
And so I'm just very patient and very attentive with that.
Right.
And that's how I adjust.
No, it's good. I mean, it's working for you, right?
Yeah.
It's worked for you. And I mean, regardless, you just don't stop. You know, what's crazy is sometimes a lot of people, they quit when the routine changes or something. It's like, this is a little different than what I was used to, or this is hard. Or, I mean, because you could have got discouraged after the first trainer. It's like, oh, he had to go, and then the other one for school. But you're like, you know what? I'm going to get another trainer. I'm going to keep going, you know what I mean?
That's powerful, yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree. I think that, and this might be a hot take, especially in the fitness industry. I'm not super tapped in, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But I feel like the magic isn't necessarily in the trainer. It's in the consistency.
I agree.
And the trainer is building that mindset of consistency, like they're helping you. And, while I'm thankful for all of my trainers, just like you said at the very beginning, they can't do the work for me. They can help me along the way, but they can't do the work for me. And I understand, especially with routines, because for, at least what I've noticed working with students every day is that routines can be very grounding. Right. They build comfortability because you know what to expect. But at this point, the routines have changed so much for me that I just kind of roll with the punches. Like my schedule's kind of crazy. In the fall, I have a jam-packed schedule. It's very consistent, but I have a very little amount of time outside of work to do anything.
Right.
So whenever I plan my workouts, I have to plan accordingly.
Right.
And then in the spring, it's very loose, but the difference is that my commitment outside of work varies wildly from one week to the next. So I have to plan ahead and, plan accordingly.
Right.
And then the summers, as a teacher, you have all the free time in the world. You can do whatever you want to do. But I also find that that's kind of the hardest time for me to be consistent because I don't have that built-in schedule. Right. I don't have that routine, especially as teachers, we like to travel in the summer. We like to explore and go do new things and see people that we haven't been able to see for X amount of months. And so, again, I have to plan accordingly. Right. But I think you're absolutely right. When routines transition, the most difficult thing is to be consistent. You just got to give yourself some grace.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Right there. Like, if y'all listen to that, give yourself some grace. Don't be so hard on you. Like, I think the world is hard enough on you already.
Absolutely.
The world's going to be hard enough on you. Them bills ain't going nowhere.
They sure ain't.
Everything's hard on you. Why you being mean to yourself? Be nice to my friend. But with that, like, one thing I will say is your schedule's intense, right? Your schedule's pretty intense. You seem to work a lot of hours. I would say
I do.
It can be a stressful job. I have 2 children myself, and sometimes my children be like, "Oh, every parent know what I'm talking about. Where your children's like doing a little bit too much,
Yeah, I understand.
So if I feel that way, I can imagine how it is with other people's children, and then the amount of patience that you had to have and resolve just to get through. And then still be sane at the end of the day.
Fit and sanity. I mean, that's kind of how it works. You're absolutely right. I work with 300 kids every single day.
Dang.
And it's tough to be consistent. But, consistency looks different for everybody.
That's true.
For some people, being consistent is going to the gym a certain amount of times a week. For me, I split my time between lifting and dance class. That's like my preferred form of cardio.
Right.
So for me, consistency looks like a certain amount of activities at the gym. So I may go to 2 dance classes a week and I lift once a week.
Right.
And so that's my baseline. That's non-negotiable. That's scheduled. That is not changing. Okay. But if I want to do more, then I can.
Right.
So I have some flexibility in that. And if I know, like when I start planning ahead, if the week that's coming up is going to be super intense for work and I'm not going to be able to get in what I need to get in, then I can do more this week, or I can do extra the week after. But either way, the consistency, the baseline is not changing.
Right.
But everything else is, flexible, and I can add more if I want to, or if I don't, then that's okay. I still feel accomplished.
See, I like that. I like that. And I mean, that's just one of those things where, because I wonder, like, I have a busy day, but I always wonder too. It's just like, man, when I see someone like you with your schedule, I'm like, yo, I don't even know. Sometimes I'll be wondering, like, man, how do you stay so busy all the time, even on the weekends?
Even on the weekends.
So.
Yeah. We have, especially towards the end of football season, for those of you who don't know, Duncanville usually goes all the way, 6A state championships. We didn't win this year, but we've won plenty of times, so it's no skin off our back.
Right.
But yeah, our playoff games happen on Saturdays.
Right.
And then we may have a competition on that same Saturday for band. And so it's a lot of juggling. I work full time Monday through Friday, and then I have a Saturday performance or a Saturday competition. And then I try to rest and recover if I can on the Sunday, and then it all starts all over again.
So 6 days a week. And you work 6 days a week pretty much. And then Sunday, you got to think about it. You got to do laundry. You got to do this, catch up.
Everything else.
And like the fact that I commend you for still finding time in your day to say, you know what, this is still important to me. And I'll tell you guys, you only need at least bare minimum 3 days a week.
Right.
3 days a week, and it's going to be okay. Just, you got to go do something, even if it's 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes.
Absolutely.
Something. Just move your body.
Yeah. And I mean, you do what works for you, but even a small commitment is still a commitment.
I agree.
Yeah.
A small commitment is a commitment. Good. All right. So let's do something different. Let's play a little game.
Oh, Lord.
Here we go. So, like, Fit and Sanity. So the original thing for this podcast is like trainer versus client.
Okay.
That's what the podcast was going to be before.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Fit and Sanity. So this is it's a part of it. Trainer versus client. That's
I like
a part
that element.
of the segment. This is what we play a little bit of games here and there. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sounds good. I'm down.
Yeah. Okay, so, and it's nothing crazy, but after a 12-hour day with no energy, what are you doing? Like, just say you got to work out. Maybe you work out. What do you do when
you'd be surprised how often that happens to me.
Right.
12 hours, 14. I have what I call my emergency routine.
Right.
And it's something that I talked a lot about with my first trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially what an emergency routine is, for me anyway, is can I go to the gym? What are the fewest amount of exercises I can do and still get maximum benefit from it?
Right.
So these are going to be like your compound movements. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, squats, rows.
But in short, you do what you know works for your body. You
Right.
get in and you get out. And the point is that, even if it's just for a short amount of time, you still go and you still do something.
Right.
Even if you only got 30 minutes and the first 10 is a warm up,
Yeah.
you take what you can get and you still leave feeling accomplished because you've done something.
That's good. Okay. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. Just say you're down in your routine. You're good. You're killing it. And you've been there. You get a new trainer that just changes everything. Just say you don't happen to like the change. How do you adjust this time? Like, fortunately for, I guess you kind of meshed with each of your trainers that you have. What happens if you get one where you're just like, nah, this ain't it? Do you say something like,
Yeah.
what would you do?
One of the biggest things that I have learned as a teacher is that you can learn something from anybody. Adult,
Yeah.
student, child, trainer you don't like.
Yeah. That's actually really powerful that you said that.
Yeah, and so whenever if I'm in a situation like that, first of all, I need to check myself and understand why I'm upset.
Right.
Or why is it that I'm not meshing with this person? And a lot of times
Right.
it just comes down to, I'm not familiar yet.
Right.
And so because of that, I think what I would do is, just be patient, trust the process, and figure out what I can learn from that person, because I'm sure I can something.
Yeah. I like that. That's good. It's like the program is bigger than what you just got going on. It's about the program.
Absolutely.
So I like that. Okay, another scenario. You're going and all of a sudden your progress just stops. You feel like you hit a plateau. How do you address this? I mean, because this might be a thing in the future,
It has been a thing multiple times, yeah.
So what do you do to change that when you hit that plateau?
Are you sure this is a game? Because this is kind of deep. This is a deep question right here.
Yeah. It's more like a little, you know what I mean? I'm just picking your brain.
No, I understand. It's all fun and games when the weight is melting off.
Uh-huh.
But then you have to really take a step back when that progress slows down.
Yeah.
And it's just as much a mental game as it is a physical game, because you have to take a step back and you have to think about it. You have to, evaluate, is my progress slowing down because I've fallen off of what I was doing and I need to, get back on track?
Right.
Or is it because what I was doing was working then and now it is not? And so now I need to figure out how to accommodate this, how to reacquaint myself with this in a new way so that I can keep my progress going. And, I've had a lot of talks with myself about that, just because, like I said in the very beginning, I'm so much of a thinker and so much of an analyzer. And so those things kind of matter to me. But what I will say is, ultimately, when stuff like that happens, when you feel like your progress is slowing down or when you're plateauing, it is really a good idea to just take a step back and reanalyze and be patient with yourself. Like I said, give yourself that grace.
That's good. I mean, I agree, because most of the time when you're in those situations, you don't really know what to do. If you're like constantly going to the gym, you're going hard, but you just can't seem to get over the hump yourself. Right. Like, that can be hard. I get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's do another thing. Okay. So what's the hardest part about the gym? The hardest part about staying in shape, the hardest part, period.
Being consistent. And being consistent when everything around you in life is not.
Oh, I
Yeah,
like that.
the fortitude of being consistent when you know that everything else around you is not consistent.
I like that because that's just showing you guys everybody's human. I guarantee you, everybody has something going on.
Yes, we are.
Something that's stressing
Yes,
you
we do.
out. Just I know we all got something. All right. So, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned on your fitness journey so far?
The biggest lesson. Ooh, okay. I got kind of a hot take.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The biggest lesson I've learned so far is that discipline beats motivation.
Okay.
I
I can take that.
The reason I say that is just because, when I was in music school, one of my professors, my flute professor, love her.
Right.
She had this quote from one of the coaches on the Tennessee Titans that was, discipline is doing what you don't want to do so that you can do what you do want to do.
Oh.
And I carry that with me so often because one of my primary motivations, so to speak, is dance class. But if I want to lock and hop and drop and pop or whatever it is, I have to lift. I have to have a strong core. I have to have strong legs. I have to have that foundation so that I feel better doing what I want to do later. So that's my hot take.
I like that.
And that's what it is for me.
I like that. Yeah, I'm with that. That's actually really good. Repeat that quote again. What was that quote that you said one more time?
Discipline is doing the things you don't want to do so that you can do the things you do want to do.
I feel like that should be framed, right?
It was framed. Actually, it was framed on her door, my flute teacher's door.
Okay.
And we lived by that.
Yeah, I was going to say that should be framed. That should be a thing. You guys, that was a powerful one. I like that a lot. All right. So what's your most underrated habit that keeps you going?
I don't know if this is underrated per se, just because I do it so often in every aspect of my life, but planning ahead.
Right.
When I was talking about, how intense my schedule can be and how much it changes, planning ahead is what keeps me grounded, is what keeps me comfortable in what I'm doing. It helps me feel better about what I'm doing too.
Right.
And also helps me keep track of my progress. There's been many a times where I will open my notes app before a workout and go, where am I right now in my journey?
You've done that with me before. When we first started, we'd have to do that a lot.
Yeah. Because I want to be able to track my progress and I want to know where I am on my way to my goal, And so, planning ahead for sure.
Okay. That makes sense then. And I mean, planning ahead I love planning ahead because you got to think about what if you need a meal prep or anything like that.
Right.
Like planning ahead is really important. What surprised you the most in this entire journey that you've been on?
What surprised me the most about the physical fitness journey is how mental it is.
Right.
I was saying earlier, when I first started, I was in therapy and I was realizing how much of the patterns in my life that were unproductive, and unconstructive, it just didn't align with me. And so now going through this physical fitness journey and realizing how much of that is the mental aspect of it, how much of it is discipline, how much of it is consistency, how much of it is the mental fortitude to do the things you don't want to do so that you feel better in your body.
So much more is mental than it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. The mentality for sure is the what surprised me the most.
Okay. So let's give what I like to call if you listen to the podcast, especially those of you guys who tune in regularly, I appreciate you guys. I like to call this a community, is what I want to build, a community of different people, maybe even maybe we make a Facebook community group too, and then I'll get on that because I feel like you can buy and sell from each other, help each other out.
Absolutely,
that's what a community essentially is. So let's give some advice for busy professionals that really want to stick to what they got going on, but they feel like they're too busy, they're too tired. What advice would you give them?
Don't wait. Don't wait. Even if you need to start small,
Right.
like I did, I started small. Don't wait and make the time for it, because if it's truly what you want to do, you'll feel better for it in the end, and you'll regret not starting sooner. So yeah, don't wait.
I love that. So, I mean, and that just shows you guys that consistency, man, that's going to beat the excuses. That's pretty much how you're going to get to your goal. Just stay consistent. I know it doesn't feel good sometimes. It doesn't feel good for
No,
any
it
of us
doesn't.
sometimes, but you woke up, especially if you got all of your limbs intact, like your arms work, your hands, your eyes, you can walk, you can possibly run.
Yeah.
I think you should get it, because there's somebody that wished that they could get up and do what you are refusing to get up to do because you're too tired.
That's real.
Or
Don't
you
take it for
feel like
granted.
it. Yep. So don't take your body for granted, people, because it's the only one you get. Did you know that? I don't think you're going to get another one anytime soon. All right. So, as I like to do, words of wisdom from Lion, which is probably the coolest name on the planet, by the way.
Thank
you. Like, let's give the people some words of wisdom. If you could tell anybody anything right now, what would you tell them? And after that, also share your socials so they can follow you. People can follow you, find out who you are.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom are hard for me because I don't feel particularly wise.
I don't think any of us do. But
Yeah.
we try to sound smart sometimes.
Yeah, I think I would say be true to yourself
Right.
and don't be afraid to push yourself to do the things you really want to do. Because I
Right.
feel like a lot of, at least for me anyway, there's a lot of things that I know I have wanted to do and I've been holding myself back.
Yeah.
So, be true to yourself, but also be willing to push yourself. I think that's
Alright.
what my words of wisdom are.
I like that. And you guys, once again, you get another client that's been on the journey and still going on the journey, telling you, hey, consistency is key. You guys just stay consistent, stay motivated. Thank you for sharing your storyline. We
Yeah.
appreciate you for coming on. Until then, I guess we're going to see you guys on the next episode. But until then, stay fit and stay sane and stay focused. And we are out.
Yeah, we crush it today. Now it's time for the flex. Mind heavy, heart steady. We demanding respect. Fit insanity, the code. We don't break, we don't bend. Every setback is set up. Every loss is a win. Keep the pressure on your goals. Let it sharpen your aim. Hustle hard, move smart, stay ahead of the game. Till the next time we link, keep the fire inside. It's the Fit Sanity family. We ride till we rise.